Before you run out and spend your hard-earned money on the BSA Bantam 350 or the B65 that are going to be made available in September 2025, let me just remind you a bit of the recent history of what happened with the BSA Goldstar. This video's specific for Ian. I know Ian had a lot of problems with his BSA Goldstar when he tried selling it. I'll tell you what happened with mine. I ended up selling it the BSA Goldstar was brilliant. I had a really good time with it. I bought it for as a channel bike. It was brilliant. Got me lots and lots of things, lots and lots of views. Brilliant bike. It's one of the few bikes that I regret selling. However, that's another subject. But I did sell it, and 2 weeks after I sold it, did the management team over in India decide to force the dealers across the UK to reduce the prices by £1,000. The buyer, 2 weeks later, got in touch with me and said, and was really upset that he'd bought this bike for a particular price, and now he could have bought a brand new Goldstar for £4,999. The BSA Bantam 350 is going to be retailing at £3,500 plus on the road costs, so another £200, let's say. I also understand that the BSA B65 is going to be retailing at £6,000, or that might be a starting price, £6,000. How would you feel after a year of owning the Bantam or the BSA B65, after a year, this time, August 2026, that your BSA Bantam was worth, let's say, £2,000, a 40% reduction, or your BSA B65 was worth 3,200, 3,300 maybe? I'm not sure. How would you feel? Firstly, 2024 BSA Goldstar with 2,000 miles, currently available on Marketplace. I'm tempted myself, to tell you the truth, because I do like the BSA Goldstar. Absolutely beautiful bike. Let me flash it up. £3,300. The guy will probably sell it for £3,000. He probably paid £5,000 for it, and they are available on eBay for £4,999. Let me get you a screenshot. Brand new for £4,999, less than £5,000. Just be careful. The Indian management team over in India for BSA, they move in mysterious ways, and that was highlighted in the past with the BSA Goldstar, the very recent past, and still you can get a Goldstar that's brand new for £4,999, whereas it originally started at £6,000. Just be careful. The B65 in a year's time might be £5,000, and you might be pissed off when you try to come and sell it or whatever. I would love to buy the B65. I wouldn't buy the Bantam, because the Bantam is a transient bike. Let's talk about the Bantam. I see the Bantam as a transient bike. A transient bike from a horsepower perspective. You're going to get all the videos are coming out from Mr. Darcy and Freddie Dobbs, giving you this romantic view of a 350cc motorbike. Actually, it's 330, of about 29 horsepower with 29 Newton meters of torque, something like that. I see that as a transient bike, and they are comparing it to things like the Scrambler the Triumph Scrambler 400, which is a completely different bike. It cannot be compared. It can only be compared to something like the Royal Enfield Hunter or the Royal Enfield Classic, which is a 350cc bike of a similar horsepower, although they're about 21 horsepower. I still see them as a transient bike, and the channels that are promoting this always have a bigger bike. They don't survive on a 350 completely alone. They always have a bigger bike. I mean, today, let me put up a screenshot. You can get a Gorilla for 4,300, which has 40 horsepower or thereabouts, and it's much faster than the 29 horsepower Bantam that's coming on the marketplace. I see the 350cc category as a primary motorcycle, as a transient place to move forward to a more powerful machine. What's your thoughts on that? What do you think? Unless you've got a very, very specific use case, maybe for getting through London to work or whatever, and you're only doing 20 miles per hour, and that's okay, then a 350 probably fits your needs. But if you want to go out into the hills of Wales, you possibly might want something a bit more powerful. I'm just saying, and bearing in mind, I've owned a Hunter 350, and that was a brilliant bike. I'm just saying, I've owned it, but I knew it was a transient bike. So, this is a really difficult video to say. I would love to buy the BSA B65. My concern is that if I pay £6,000 today, plus on the road costs, 6,200 let's say, that in a year's time, 12 months, that bike might just get £3,000 if I sold it second hand. It's a terrible situation. I don't think I will be buying it because my fear is I'll lose so much money. Ian, put your comments below. And the experience that I had with the BSA Goldstar, which was superb, the problems were when it came to sell it. I sold it 2 weeks later. BSA dealers were forced to knock off £1,000 on their models, brand new. And the guy that bought the BSA off me was highly pissed off. Highly pissed off, because for an extra few £100 he could have brought a brand new one 2 weeks later. Now my fear is that BSA in a year's time will say to the dealers, of which the dealers have reduced over the past year or two, will be forced again to reduce the price of the Bantam, I don't know, maybe to £2,999, and the B65 to £5,000. I'm just saying it. I appreciate the beautiful bikes. They are beautiful bikes, and they're absolutely saturated with nostalgia. But I'd be a bit concerned if I lost 50% of the value of the bike in 1 year. What's your thoughts on this? Am I just looking at it as the voice of doom again? I really do hope that BSA succeed, but they made a massive error in reducing the prices a year ago, 2 years ago. It was a year ago. It was a catastrophic mistake to those that were buying the Goldstar, and I fear that this may happen again with the B65 and the Bantam. What's your thoughts? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video if it meant something to you. Just think twice, but I suspect that they are absolutely wonderful machines. Like I say, the 350s, they're transient bikes. You're not your primary bike unless you've got a specific use case, but that's my thoughts. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comparing the Bantam 350 to the likes of the Gorilla or the Triumph Scrambler or something like that, or the 400cc Triumphs, is a bad comparison. It just is. It just is. Both of those bikes have got 25% more power than the Bantam. But I do think that the Bantam and the B65 look absolutely wonderful. I would love to buy one, but I can't afford to lose £3,000 in a year. I can't afford to buy a B65 and have it worth £3,000 in 12 months' time. What's your thoughts? Let me know. See you soon. Ride safely, be kind, and eat healthily. See you soon. Bye-bye.